Lance Stroll was like, "Yeah, guys, who hit him? We gotta get to the bottom of this, guys."
That was messed up, man.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Revved Up podcast.
Hello,
Thank you for
hello.
thank you for joining us. That was Edgar. Wherever you get your podcast, Edgar, what's going on, man?
Dude, not much. Honestly, just I had fun watching yesterday's race. I really did.
Okay, well, that is actually the first question I was gonna ask you. Do you think we got ourselves an entertaining race yesterday?
I, I was going through it because, I was taking notes while I was watching the race, and I don't know if that like added excitement for me. But then I was like, no, we got battles. I mean, we got the Mercedes Aston Martin battles. So that was entertaining. Yeah, I was very entertained by the race yesterday.
So I would say we've had far less entertaining races in the
Yeah.
past. So I'll give it that. But overall, no, I don't think it was the most entertaining race. But what it was an interesting race.
Yeah.
It gave us it's given us a lot to talk about. It was also a really funny race. It
Yeah.
produced some pretty comical moments, like Esteban Ocon having to hit or serve 1,000 penalties.
Yeah. So did he just stop?
I actually didn't even see what happened to him at the beginning.
Yeah.
But apparently he served some sort of infraction. But then when he actually served his penalty,
He did it
he
wrong.
he did that wrong. And then I feel like there was something else after that, infringing track limits or something. I
He
don't
was
even know.
speeding in the pit lane. I
Speeding in the
remember
pit
that.
lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just penalties after penalties. And of course, at the end, he had to retire. Um,
Wait,
but
was that because of car or because of the penalties? Because I actually didn't catch
I,
that.
I'm not sure, actually. I think it was because of the car.
Okay.
But um, so how about this Red Bull team, though?
Yeah, I mean it is what we thought was gonna happen.
Hmm.
Um I was like, oh, they're pulling away on the softs, and then I was like, oh, only Magnussen's on hards, everyone else is on softs.
Yeah. So I actually, the team that we've talked about the least on this podcast has been Red Bull. And that's they haven't given us much to talk about because what are we gonna say about Red Bull
So
that
no, they're so good.
yeah, I mean, and actually Ferrari is second on that list, but we just talk about Ferrari when we need someone to laugh at.
Yeah.
So there's that. But no, we can change that right now. What is there to say about Red Bull?
Well, I kind of this is gonna go through all the cars because watching the race, I don't know if you got this feeling, but it did kind of feel like to me at least that the cars weren't ready yet. And that was also like from the feedback from the drivers, and even Max was like complaining at one point. But I mean, he's still how fast? How much faster was he going?
What is
11 seconds on Sergio, so that's still he's at 11 seconds on his teammate.
what's the reaction do you think in the Red Bull garage when they hear Max complain about the car while he's up 20 seconds in front of everyone? It's ridiculous what they're doing in Red Bull. I think it was after 10 laps, this man was 6 seconds
Yeah,
ahead of second place, ahead of Charles Leclerc. So arguably the most dominant stretch we've ever seen from a driver. I think
yeah.
I saw a stat. He's the last 20 race, 15 wins for Max Verstappen.
Wow. And
That
well,
is
this was his first Bahrain win, so
that, well, I mean it's something we haven't seen from Lewis Hamilton or Michael
yeah.
Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel. We haven't seen them put a stretch like this together. So uh,
Oh,
he's
are
he's
you trying to make a case for GOAT status?
I'm saying he's entering the conversation. Uh,
That's a political way to put it.
yeah,
Good on you.
no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give him that just yet. He's gotta accomplish a little more. Um, but what do you think? Do you think he's kind of just locked this thing up, huh?
Yeah, no, that I mean, this was. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think because Mercedes can still develop as I wince while I say that.
Mm.
And then Aston Martin,
Oh yeah,
no, they're just gonna fight Mercedes. Yeah, dude, nothing's gonna happen with Red Bull. Fuck.
yeah.
I hope I get to eat those words.
The Aston Martin thing is interesting. We'll talk about them a little bit later.
Mm,
But like I said, this race was more interesting than it was entertaining. Uh,
yeah.
the other, the other storyline that we got out of this was the midfield itself seems to be expanding. Um, I think we have Williams. They
Yeah.
they
I,
may
I actually wrote like at the beginning of the race, I was like, it's nice to see a Williams at 12 and 13, not Latifi just bringing up the rear. But man, they did 12 and 10. So they got points.
yeah, Alex Albon finished in the points. How much of that was the Nicholas Latifi effect?
I don't know, man. For some reason, Nicholas Latifi bothered me seeing his name on the grid, just always in the back.
Mhm. Well, I mean, since we're talking about Williams, we have to do our obligatory Florida man mention really quick. That's
Highest position new rookie.
best rookie out there on the grid. So good for him on that, and good for Williams in general. They look like they may have stepped things up. Um,
Yeah.
James Vowles, who I think Mercedes might want him back.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh, I don't know. Are we ready to have the conversation about Toto? No, we're not. We're not ready to have that
What's the
conversation.
conversation about Toto?
Look, man, we've seen the team slip from this dominant force in the sport to what is now a middle of the road team.
Ooh, and you're putting that on Toto.
Look, someone's got to get the.
Hey man, Wolfpack all the way.
Wow. Okay, so you're just gonna leave me alone here on this island. Okay,
Oh,
that's fair. I'll take the heat of this, but no, it's Mercedes definitely have some things to figure out.
yeah.
The battle between them and Aston Martin is going to be really interesting to watch throughout the season. But what do you think? Do you think Mercedes is in trouble?
I think so. It actually, because watching the battle, it reminded me. It wasn't last year, maybe it was the year before when it was it still Force India? Either way, it was the pink Mercedes, and people were calling it the pink Mercedes because and I'm like, oh, well, now they're passing them. That's nice. That is nice.
Man, there was also what George Russell had to say after this race. He said that Red Bull has this thing sewn up that they're gonna win every
Oh,
single race, and to that I gotta say, really, man, really,
yeah, yeah. Come on, man.
you look. That's we can say that.
Yeah, yeah, but you're on the team, man. You have
You can't
teammates
say that.
listening to you.
You sound it's a very defeatist attitude to have,
Yeah,
and
you still like to see that.
yeah, I'm being nice when I say defeatist. He honestly just sounds like a loser when he says that. Um, but no, it's the truth.
Uh,
I'll tell him that. Both of these things are not.
please,
These are not
please audio
mutually.
clip this section right here.
Like, these are not mutually exclusive things here. I mean, the man is telling the truth. He is seeing what all of us are seeing, which is that nobody is catching this Red Bull and nobody's beating this Red Bull. But
Yeah,
also,
okay, so I guess question there is as a driver, do you do the right thing and keep your mouth shut, or are you allowed to speak the truth?
no,
You're
you're
not
allowed to
allowed to
speak.
speak.
You're allowed to speak the truth, but
Nope,
you're
not
gonna
according to
sound.
Christian Horner.
Wait, what?
Sorry, that you know what, that was, we don't need to talk about that. That was just me going off of the free speech ban and how Christian Horner's kind
Oh,
of for it.
right. Yeah, we'll talk about. It's funny. I started this by saying let's talk about Red Bull, and now here we are talking about Mercedes.
Hey, I brought up Christian Horner. It was full circle.
All right, you brought us back full circle. But
Right now,
let's pull up these standings really quick here. So George Russell actually finished in seventh, and
yeah,
Lewis Hamilton in fifth. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's an okay result for Mercedes.
but it
As
was their
far as
worst day of racing ever.
apparently, and whose fault is that? But no, it's hey, look, he's on top. He's captain of the ship, right?
Buck stops with him.
That's all I'm saying is him and George Russell sounding like he's given up already. Um, Now, on the flip side of that is Lewis Hamilton. What do you think about his performance?
I mean, he did the best he could. I mean, that's what we kind of expect from him. Uh, because yeah, he was fighting with Alonso. That was a good fight.
Hmm.
I do feel like Alonso kind of like just took apart George Russell, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that Lewis kind of saw that he had no chance in
Yeah,
terms of keeping up with the top three once Charles Leclerc dropped out of that. Which we'll talk about Charles is. We need like a segment every podcast where we just take a break and laugh at Ferrari, right?
yeah,
I feel like it's good for the soul. It heals you.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Can there be alliteration? Wow. Ferrari's Funhouse.
Okay, I like that one.
There you
In
go. I'll
fact,
keep going.
what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clip it straight to that and make
Ooh,
it seem like that was the first one you came up with.
good. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm, mhm. But I won't edit out this last part where I was talking about doing that.
No, you
Um,
can't.
but no, Ferrari themselves are. It's looking like New Year, same Ferrari, honestly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, hold up. Let's because again, what's it? Fred Va, the new principal. It's only been
Vasseur,
Vasseur.
French.
He's only been on the job, and they said it before the race for like, because they I remember they asked Leclerc about it, and he was like, I mean, he's only been here for like 2, 3 weeks, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and honestly, I really didn't know what to expect with bringing in a new team principal that could always go one of two ways.
Yeah,
But so far, it's looking like more of the same. The team definitely has to figure out some things as far as getting the car reliable and competitive. It, but again, how much of this though is just Red Bull just absolutely smoking everybody and making everybody kind of look pedestrian?
I don't think that's the case with Ferrari, just because, like, it was the power. But by the way, that was heartbreaking, like, because it just went out right when they did the replay. Like,
Hmm.
there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it really does suck for Charles Leclerc because I think what we have there is a case of a great driver with a not so great team.
yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, he had every chance at the beginning of the race. He put himself in a great position to finish in that podium, and unfortunately, the car just didn't work out for him. But going forward, do you think this is something they can bounce back from?
I think yes, it's possible. Anything's possible. Uh,
Nah,
but
because what Red Bull is forcing us to do here is look beyond first place. We have to look for the competitive battles. They're
yeah,
basically saying, all right, we got first place locked up. You guys argue about who's gonna finish in second. And so we have no choice but to have that discussion now is who do you think is gonna get second in that constructors cup?
uh, it's. I mean, I'll go ahead and just say Aston Martin, just because the fact that one, Alonso got on podium his first time racing the car. Stroll had broken wrists, and he still was the top five, top six. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I mean, what Aston Martin did was honestly something really surprising, which was actually live up to the expectations that they set. Because I was honestly expecting them to come in and just fall flat on their faces, but
yeah, no, that was McLaren.
they and oh, thank you for bringing up McLaren so that I didn't have to. I feel almost bad when I do it because
Yeah,
again I actually really enjoy talking about McLaren, but you do not. Just let it out, man.
yeah,
What happened with McLaren?
dude, that one. So even before Piastri went out, they were having problems with Lando's car, where they were pumping something in the pit stop. Either way, it
Hmm.
wasn't it wasn't he had to do pit stops not for tires or body works. They
Yeah.
had to like supplement something in the car.
Hmm.
Um it's good that he stayed out, I guess. And then I think I wrote down they were saying that yeah, Zach Brown, he got on there. Oscar Piastri was out at lap 15, and they said it was electrical gearbox failure.
So yeah, it is. I guess it's good that he stayed out, but I mean, is that really anything worth celebrating? It's
It's worth celebrating for mental fortitude.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
that's if you're the backmarker teams, Williams, Haas, AlphaTauri, finishing a race is something worth celebrating.
Okay.
But if you're McLaren, who is once great and should actually be competitive, no, I don't think that's something to celebrate. He was just out there for a casual drive in the back, I guess, just getting past. He was I hate to say this, but he was getting the Mick Schumacher treatment from last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Oh
mean,
God.
it's unfortunate what's happening with Lando because it's similar to Charles Leclerc, a lot of wasted potential, I think. And just like I said with Toto, the conversation needs to be started. With old Zach Brown, we we should be a wrap. It should be a wrap on the conversation. I mean, what is there to say? Obviously, this man is not cut out for this job.
Well, I don't know, because he wasn't CEO when Alonso left. I don't think, and then he became CEO when the driver lineup. I think the first year the driver lineup was Lando and Carlos Sainz. So I mean, so we got what two good years because the
I
Lando and
believe
Carlos years were good. Danny came in, that was not good.
it sounds like you're scared to fire him.
I am, I am. Because
It's
it was so promising. He started off high, and then you know,
liberate yourself from this man. You don't need this in your life.
God, I'm too loyal. You're right. I'm loyal to Toto, Zach.
Look,
Oh, okay.
it's, it's a bad fault to have is loyalty. McLaren is just turning into a bit of a punchline at this point. Honestly,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's well, no, I don't really hate to say it.
No, you're making it.
It's actually kind of funny to watch. Um, any look, be it once when we have a team like Red Bull just dominating everyone, you're making a very unamused face.
Yeah, this is gonna
Right
be
now.
good for the viewers, not the
Yeah,
listeners.
yeah. I guess so. I had to narrate for anyone who was listening. Um, but no, I think McLaren. I'll just end this on a cordial note and say that
Okay.
they have some things to figure out. Okay, is that fair?
Dude, you're being. I don't know. This podcast, you're getting very political, and I love it.
I'm kind of playing both sides here, you know.
Yeah. So you
But
always come out on top.
exactly, yep. Always, you're always gonna win no matter what. But no, let's dive back into these standings here, and that is because there is someone who deserves his flowers. It's Pierre Gasly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he started, I think,
Oh, it's
19th,
actually, yeah.
19th, I believe, and ended up in P9.
Yeah.
So great drive for him when he made the switch to Alpine. My first thought was, really, this is the guy you guys want? But no, great start for Pierre Gasly. And honestly, he's at least, I mean, he beat his teammate, so that's always a win. That's what I love about the sport, honestly, is the teammates are racing each other, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right. I mean, I didn't get first, but at least I beat my teammate.
Yeah, that's got to be a good, nice feeling.
Oh yeah,
Wow, I didn't think
hmm
about that.
yeah. It's honestly just a great thing about the sport. Also,
Yeah,
big shout out to the man from Finland, Valtteri.
yeah,
Yeah, eighth. Also
yeah.
taking that Alfa Romeo um, up into the points. So yeah, but
There was Joe. Where'd he finish off? Oh, okay.
not so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think yeah, two great performances right there that deserve to be highlighted.
Mhm.
Right in front of Valtteri was George Russell, the man who has given up on this season, which
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let that go. Just
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
that's pretty rough.
ah, but okay, so George Russell in seventh and
Mm.
Lance Stroll in sixth, which I mean,
Broke
also,
his wrist.
how is he driving right now?
I don't. I mean, maybe how- like what happens when you break your wrists? Can you?
I I've never been in that situation, so I can't answer that question.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I don't know how it would work.
I don't know, but I mean, he made it work. He got the Aston Martin up there into sixth,
Mhm.
and right in front of him was Lewis Hamilton, who, by the way, we're at fifth right now, and we are 50 seconds away from first place. So
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
I it's just I think all of this is just really to highlight how dominant Red Bull was.
yeah.
That can just be the overall theme of this episode was man, none of this matters. Red Bull just absolutely dominated all of these guys.
God damn, yeah.
And of course, right in front of Lewis, we had Carlos Sainz. What do you think of Carlos's drive yesterday?
I felt bad. As soon as Charles Leclerc got out, I felt so bad for Carlos because I was like, "Oh, buddy, you're not going to be able to defend the
Hmm.
Ferrari." And like, I'm so sorry that the Ferrari's placement is just left on you. Oh, buddy, I wanted to hug him, especially
Uh,
like with Alonso creeping up. I was like, "Oh, you can't. I'm sorry,
mhm.
but you can't."
Yeah, watching that, it was honestly hard to watch.
Yeah.
It felt like the man was alone on an island once Charles Leclerc went out there. Um, but no, I think I mean, at least he finished the race.
Yeah.
That's
He
that.
he did the best he could do in his situation, which I in this sport is admirable.
That's true. Yeah, too. Honestly, he's doing the best he can with what he's got, and what he's got now is not the best team um, out there to support him. So I think he's honestly got to be happy with P4.
Yeah,
Well, P3 would have been nice, but I mean
yeah.
that. And now this takes us to, I guess, the man of the hour, Fernando Alonso.
God,
Uh,
I love him. I was watching Drive to Survive, and he was talking about how he was like the anti-hero. And I don't know if I've conveyed this to you, but I've been entering my villain era this year, and so it's just
yeah.
me and Fernando, we're kindred spirits,
Mhm.
basically the same person. Um,
The him just laughing at Carlos Sainz as he passed him. He
yeah,
said, "Haha, bye bye." That
so good.
I honestly up until now was I guess fairly neutral on Fernando Alonso, but
Mhm.
he's if he continues down this path, he may make a fan out of me. Uh,
Okay, that's okay.
yeah, I'm not all negative, by the way.
That's hey, I'm fine with being negative, man. You can be all
Okay.
negative.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But no, great performance from him. Driver of the day. Do you think he deserved that?
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Because
yeah.
obviously you can't
He
just
got
give.
like 50% of the vote.
I mean, well, the argument here being Max put one of the most dominant performances ever we've seen. But I think are we starting to get a little bored with Verstappen?
Well, I kind of want to get into this point on driver of the day then,
Okay.
because yeah, yes, he was dominant, but he didn't have to do much. Like he had open track in front of him versus Fernando Alonso actually like had battles. So, so that's
Mhm.
my reasoning why he would get driver of the day instead of Max.
Yeah, I mean it's a debate that is had across many sports.
Nope,
Um,
nope. You heard it. Oh, okay. You heard it here first on the Revved Up podcast.
yeah, that's right. We are the first ones to debate or driver of the day.
Yeah.
Um,
And what merits driver of the day?
exactly. No, we see it in basketball with the discussion about MVP. Do we just give it to the best player every single year, or is it the most valuable player on the best team? Because those two things are not always the same thing. So I think we have a similar discussion here. But no, I think Fernando Alonso definitely deserved that driver of the day recognition. Um, but man, there's definitely interesting things to that came out of this race. The Aston Martin Mercedes battle is definitely going to be something to watch going
Mhm.
forward. How do you see that playing out?
Right now, I think at least until summer, I think Aston Martin's going to take it. After summer, um, we might see a turnaround, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be hard though for Mercedes to even be in this position. But I mean it's looking like they may not come out on top on this one. I think Aston Martin is as somehow they like similar to Haas have just hit the copy and paste on the Red Bull, and I think it was Christian Horner, Mr. Ginger Spice. He said that something about that regarding the Aston Martin, and but hey, if it works, it works. You they did copy them, but I mean it's obviously shown to have worked.
Yeah.
How does old Sebastian Vettel feel watching this?
Yeah.
Oh man, poor guy. I'm still interested to see how all of these rookies played out. A lonely. I may be jumping ship on this Nick DeVries boat that
Oh yeah.
I was on. I was
Yeah.
waving the flag for him, but he did not do very much at all here.
Can
But
we be part of Sargent's army?
the
Which I don't know if that's a thing yet for his fandom, but you heard it here first on
I
the Revved
like
Up
that.
podcast.
That is actually the best idea that you have come up with so far.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna copyright that and put it out for the whole world.
Sergeant's Army. Yeah.
Sergeant's
Okay.
Army. Yep.
Merch coming soon.
I mean, I feel like we have the best claim to that, being that we are all Florida man, like he is.
Yeah.
He's from our home state. You know, he's repping the Sunshine State. What are we? I don't even know.
Yep, that is
Yeah,
correct.
that is us. Yeah, but no, I think the rookies are all. I think they're gonna be interesting to watch, but I don't expect anything really to pop off from them. Who do you think finishes in the points first out of the three of them?
I mean, just based off yesterday, Sargent.
Wow, things you never would have expected to hear going into this season.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Williams, because the Williams got points versus whoever the AlphaTauri's. Did an AlphaTauri? No, Tsunoda was 11th. So it's Sargent DeVries. Yeah, none of their teammates broke into the points except for Williams.
Wow. Well, there was actually one thing that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about, which was arguably the funniest moment of the race, which is Fernando Alonso trying to find out who hit him and his team just refusing to say anything.
That was so great because it's so stupid that they didn't, but it makes so much sense. That's why they didn't.
The question is, I asked you this, would Fernando Alonso actually go after his own teammate? Because this is the son of the owner. We've seen him in the past. Yeah. He's not afraid to do this, but and obviously the team's reaction tells me that no, he's not scared to go after his teammate, because
I think he would have been saying some things about Stroll, like in the
Everybody just got really quiet when he was asking them. I bet Lance Stroll was like, "Yeah, guys, who hit him? we gotta get to the bottom of this, guys.
That was messed up, man."
Don't worry, Fernando, I'm on the case.
That'd be great. Yeah, no, that was. I remember you texted me, and I had literally wrote down.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. If we
were on the same page on that one. But no, overall, it was, in my opinion, not the most entertaining race, but it gave us some fun moments, some funny moments, and some interesting storylines. Because we're addicts to this sport, and if a race is happening, we're all going to tune in. But no, I think Crofty said it best during the race. Red Bull can just do whatever they want. It doesn't matter, because I think they switched on to soft tires when everybody was going on to hards. He said it best. Red Bull, it really doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they were pulling away on the softs.
Yep. Well,
they're gods.
On to the next one, though.
Yeah.